Greetings, friends. I am Dr. John Lupin, and today I need you to give me your full attention because what I'm going to tell you could save your life, or at least save your legs and your eyesight. I want to start with a very direct and perhaps slightly uncomfortable question. Have you ever sat at the table feeling proud of yourself in front of a huge plate of salad, thinking you were making the best decision for your diabetes, only to discover 2 hours later that your glucose meter shows alarming numbers? If this has happened to you, you are not alone, and most importantly, you are not crazy. What you are about to discover is that many times that innocent-looking salad, that mixture of vegetables they have sold us as the panacea of health, can behave inside your body worse than a cheeseburger or a plate of refined pasta. We are facing a silent crisis in the diabetic community and among people over 50 years old. For decades, they have repeated to exhaustion that we must eat more vegetables, that we must eat more greens, that salad is the sacred food of the diet, and you, with all your good intention and discipline, obey. You go to the supermarket, buy the ingredients, prepare your dinner, and go to bed hungry thinking you are doing the right thing, but months pass and your glycated hemoglobin does not drop. Your doctor increases the dose of metformin or insulin. You feel frustrated, tired, and guilty. You think your body is broken or that you lack willpower. Let me tell you something while looking you straight in the eyes. It is not your fault. The problem is not you. The problem is that no one has explained to you the crucial difference between a vegetable that nourishes and a vegetable that spikes insulin. There is a green trap in modern nutrition. There are ingredients that disguise themselves as health, that hide under the label of natural, but that biochemically are time bombs for a pancreas that is already struggling to function. In today's video, we are going to uncover an uncomfortable truth. I am going to show you that not all salads are the same. In fact, I have identified 5 specific types of salads that are extremely popular, that are served in all restaurants and family barbecues, but that for a diabetic are pure poison. They are what I call the glucose imposters, foods that enter your mouth with a vegetable taste but arrive in your blood converted into pure sugar at a dizzying speed. Imagine your body is like a delicate engine. If you put the wrong fuel in it, the engine breaks down. When you eat these dangerous salads, even though they have no sweet taste, your liver processes them and releases torrents of glucose. Your pancreas, which is already tired, desperately tries to pump insulin to clean up that mess, but it cannot keep up. The result is chronic inflammation, arteries that harden, and nerves that get damaged. And all of this happens while you believe you are eating healthy. That is the tragedy of the green trap, but do not worry because I am not going to leave you with just the problem. My mission is to give you tools. We are not only going to identify these 5 hidden enemies on your plate, but I am also going to give you 5 powerful alternatives. I am going to teach you how to build salads that act as medicine. Salads that not only do not raise your blood sugar, but actually help lower it, that de-inflame your liver, and that allow you to feel satisfied and full of energy. I want you to stay with me until the end of this video because the information we are going to share today is not something you will find in the traditional pamphlets they give you during a quick 5-minute consultation. We are going to dive into the real biochemistry of food, explained in a simple way, the way we like it. We are going to turn your kitchen into your pharmacy. So if you are ready to stop guessing and start healing, get ready, because we are going to begin by unmasking the science behind that invisible glucose spike that has been tormenting you without you knowing it. Let us begin. To understand why certain salads are dangerous, we must stop looking at food with our eyes and start looking at it under the microscope of biology. This is where most people get confused and make serious mistakes. There is a popular belief repeated for years that says if it comes from the earth, it is good, and if it comes from a factory, it is bad. Although in general, it is a good rule, for a diabetic, it has deadly nuances. You need to understand today the science of the invisible spike. I call it invisible because it is treacherous. When you eat a sweet, your tongue immediately warns you that you are ingesting sugar. Your brain receives the alert signal. But when you eat certain starchy vegetables, your tongue feels a neutral, salty taste, but inside your body you are receiving a glucose load identical to that of a dessert. Let me explain this with a very simple analogy so you never forget it. Imagine that glucose, the sugar that circulates in your blood, is like an individual pearl. When you eat table sugar, you are eating loose pearls that go straight into your blood at full speed. Now think about starch. Starch, which is what makes up potatoes, rice, corn, and wheat, is nothing more than a pearl necklace. It is thousands of glucose molecules chained together, one after another. When you see a potato, you do not see sugar, you see starch. But here's the trick. Your digestive system has very sharp scissors called enzymes. The moment that starch touches your saliva and reaches your stomach, those scissors start cutting the thread of the necklace. And what happens when the thread is cut? The pearls come loose. In a matter of minutes, that plate of potato salad that did not taste sweet has turned into thousands of pearls of glucose swimming in your bloodstream. For your pancreas, there is no difference between eating the whole necklace or the loose pearls. The final result is the same, a brutal spike in blood sugar. And here is where the second critical factor that almost no one mentions comes in: processing and cooking. The physical structure of the food matters as much as or more than its chemical content. In nature, sugar and starch usually come trapped in a matrix of fiber, a kind of net or cage that prevents them from being absorbed quickly. It is the safety mechanism that nature put in place. But we, in our modern kitchen, have learned to break that safety. Think about this. When you boil a potato until it is soft or cook pasta until it melts in your mouth, you are pre-digesting the food. Heat and water break that fiber net. You are doing the hard work outside your body. So when that food enters your stomach, there is no longer a barrier. It goes straight into the blood like a tsunami. That is why I say that a raw carrot is not the same as a boiled carrot. The raw one forces you to chew, has tough fiber, digests slowly. The boiled one is instant sweet puree. The fundamental mistake that millions of people over 50 make is believing that the term vegetable is a free pass. They assume that because they are eating a salad, they are exempt from the laws of metabolism. But if that salad is made mainly of these cooked starches that have lost their fibrous structure, you are technically eating complex sugar. And if we add to this that with age, our insulin sensitivity naturally decreases, we have the perfect storm. Your body no longer tolerates carbohydrates the way it did when you were 20. That reserve tank you had in your youth is already full. Every extra gram of starch that enters overflows and stays circulating in the blood, caramelizing your tissues, damaging your kidneys, and clouding your vision. Understanding this is liberating because then it stops being a mystery why your glucose is high in the morning. It is no longer bad luck, it is chemistry. And the good news is that by understanding the chemistry, we can manipulate it in our favor. It is not about eating less and going hungry. It is about eating with strategic intelligence. The summary of everything we have talked about today is simple. Do not be afraid of natural fat that comes from the earth. Have respect and caution with processed starch and terror of hidden sugar in industrial bottles. Your immediate action plan begins the next time you go to the supermarket. I want you to do a conscious exercise when you walk down the dressing aisle, that colorful aisle full of plastic bottles with labels that promise happiness. I want you to keep walking. Do not stop. Ignore those low-fat promises. Go straight to the oil section and buy the best bottle of extra virgin olive oil that your budget allows. That will be your new gold standard. And when you pass by the vegetable section, look at the potato and the pasta with different eyes. See them for what they are: dense energy that your body no longer needs in large quantities. And instead, fill your cart with green leaves, avocados, cauliflower, and vegetables that grow above the ground. Remember that every time you sit down to eat, you have an opportunity. You have the opportunity to feed your disease or to feed your health. Every forkful of that medicinal salad I told you about is a love letter you send to yourself, to your arteries, to your eyes, and to your kidneys. You have the power to change your biological destiny, and that power is not in the pharmacy. It is in your cutting board and in your kitchen. I invite you to do the test for 1 week, just 1 week. Change the toxic salads for the medicinal alternatives I have given you. Eliminate seed oils and use olive oil, and then observe your body. Observe how your abdomen deflates, how your digestion improves, and above all, how those numbers on your glucometer start to descend and stabilize. Your body is a wonderful machine that always wants to heal. It only needs you to stop putting obstacles in its way and start giving it the right tools. If this information has been useful to you, if it has lit a small light of hope in you, then my work today has been worth it. Do not keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with that friend, that brother, or that partner who is also struggling with their blood sugar. Together we can create a community that ages with strength, with clarity, and with health. I am Dr. John Lupin, and remember that natural health is not a fad. It is the return to our origin. Take control of your kitchen today so you can enjoy your life tomorrow. Until next time, and much health to you.